able to hear me now? Let's see. If you guys can hear me now, let me know in the chat room. I'm seeing. Let me check the levels. 1 2 1 2. You should be able to hear me loud and clear. If you can hear me, put a number 1 in the chat room. You should be able to hear me now. I done said a whole bunch of stuff. Let me know if you can hear me. Put a number 1 in the chat room. Put a number 1 in the chat room. You should be able to hear me now. Put a number 1. Yes, you can hear me. Good, good, good. That's what I want to know. If you can hear me, you should be able to hear me loud and clear in the chat room right now. You should be able to hear me. Good, good. We should be able to hear you. Shout out to everyone. Man. Woo. Think fast. Think fast. Now I can get back to what I was saying. Let me get back, man. Woo, I love technology. That's what you got to be on the fly. Woo, boy. Here we go. Dude, let me move my camera. Camera done got all just combobulated. There we go. Let's move. If you don't stop moving, camera. Oh boy, here we go. Okay. Let me adjust this. I tell you, boy, you gotta love technology, everything that's going on. Jesus Christ, what this is even acting funny. All right, you should be able to hear me now. Loud and clear. You'll be able to see me in a second. And let me adjust my camera. It was moving by itself. And we can't have that. Man. Woo. Okay, there we go. Right, there we go. Back to what I was saying. Shout out to Top. Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to Rain and Womb. Shout out to everyone that's here. Shout out to everyone. Let me say this again. Shout out to Top. Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to Rain and Womb. You guys should be able to hear me loud and clear now. The sounds should be there. I know exactly what happened. It's good to know when you look at, do a test, you know where to run through. Yeah, it's so we want to. I mean, let me give this. Say what I was saying again. Let me put this picture up and put up ARC. What a group. Let me say this, and I'm going to say this again. What I said earlier. You should be able to hear me loud and clear. Shout out to to Alan Roger Curry. I've been knowing of him since 2007, maybe 2008. When I used to be on Blog Talk Radio, he was on Blog Talk Radio also, and he would come through my chat room. Now we didn't interact, so I'm not trying to push something out there that wasn't there or a narrative like, oh, we were boys. No, we only been on one panel, and that was several years back. We were on a panel, and he was on a panel, and I came up there and talked, and he was there. Listen to a lot of his content. Definitely, he is the originator of the Mode 1. And so shout out to Alan Roger Curry. He is now transitioned into his next place in life. May you pray for his wife and his young child that he has. Definitely made an impact and a dent in this we call the manosphere. And so anybody want to question whether I'm telling the truth, you can check with Steve the Dean. Me and Steve the Dean were back there before there was before there even was a manosphere, before it was even this space. They were pickup artists and pickup coaches doing all this stuff like that. This was way back then. Alan Roger Curry already had his book out. He had his Blog Talk Radio. I know I feel like hip hop. I was there. So before there was any this, this manosphere and this black manosphere and all like that, definitely Alan Roger Curry was out there doing his thing. Definitely has a lot of books out there. Oops, and he Mode 1. So I want to make sure we acknowledge him. And one of the things I want to see in this space, which you didn't hear me say, and I was just talking away. We may not agree with all the philosophies and ideologies of a particular individual, especially in this space. But what we got to do is still respect the person for who they are. We may not agree with all the philosophies and ideologies and how they approach and things like that. Same thing that goes with Kevin. I didn't agree with everything that Kevin said, the way he approached. Is we are all individuals, but at the end of the day, the end goal was to make better men and to make better women. So so this is the thing we have to do, especially in this space. We have a lot of people who do not know how to agree, who don't know how to would be disagreeably agreeable. That means they don't know how to disagree with each other and still be okay with each other. We always want to take things personal. One thing about Allen was he was going to protect his brand. Let me say that again. One thing about Alan Roger Curry was he was going to protect his brand at all costs. You were not going to use any inserts and anything that he said, and without his permission, or he will flag your channel, he'll pull you down, whatever the case may be. He was adamant about protecting his brand. You will get a cease and desist order against you, against your channel, against you, whatever the case may be. One thing I know personally from some things that took place that I cannot talk about because it's not even as water under the bridge. But one thing about Alan Roger Curry was he was going to protect his brand at all costs. Protect Mode 1, protect the other books and things that he had. Anything I can say about Alan Roger Curry, he was going to protect his brand. You were not just going to talk slick. He was going to give you 5 points on what he was saying and what he meant, and how what you said don't line up to what he was saying. Plain and simple. I watched him meticulously go and do that on many people who came and try to use his information and things like that. One thing about Alan Roger Curry, that's what he was going to do. So we're on the dawn of a new day. Dawn of a new day. And with the dawn of a new day, we got to realize 2023 is awaiting you. 2023 is awaiting you. What are you going to do for 2023? 2023 is giving you giving you the orders on what needs to be happening. Some of y'all need to take a rest and say, hey, let me clear my mind. Let me figure out what I need to do for what's next for next year. Dawn, meaning before the morning. DAWN, the dawn, the morning before something happens, or the eve, the dawn, the birthing before something happens. So I want you to really get this, the dawn of a new year. Everyone that's listening is on the dawn of a new year. That means the things that we did in 2022 cannot be the same things we do in 2023. The people that we run with would not be the same people we need to run with in 2023. Why? Because we are on the dawn of a new year. And when you're on the dawn of a new year, it is time to do, like I've been saying, time to do some evaluation. It's time to just trying to decide who's going to be there and who is going to be there and who's not going to make the cut. We're in the dawn of a new year. If you don't get anything else from this year with the amount of people who are stepping into their new plane or where they're going, you need to be very intentional on what you're going to do for next year. Thank you. Shout out to you, Joe Blas. Well done. Honor to you. Appreciate that, brother. So we're on the dawn of a new year. What does that mean? You need to be, if anything we can learn from this passing of Kevin Samuels, the passing now of ARC, and I think it was someone else. I think Charles Tyler or somebody else. I think not Charles Tyler, but another YouTuber passed this year. What we have to learn this year is that tomorrow is not promised. But what we have to do is make what we do today the promise. Let me say that again. Tomorrow is not promised, but we got to make today the promise. I know this is a tough time, especially in the manosphere, especially with everything that's going on, because we're seeing the humanity of the people that have been giving out information, who's been giving of their gifts. And we're realizing that, hey, they're not going to be here for always. I need to take what they have done and do something with it. Shout out to Ron Wills. Ron Wills did an excellent breakdown and honoring Alan Roger Curry. And what you can do as listeners It's not, oh, we gonna cry and moan. Yeah, we Dave Curl, that's what it was, passed away. Yeah. What you got to do to honor that person is do what they were talking about. Shout out to Ron Wills. He's the one I listened to what he said. He said it. These guys are slightly older than me. Do what they are saying. Don't just be hearers of their words, be doers of what they're saying. The way you can actually honor Alan Roger Curry is to go back and listen to, get his books, go get and digest what he's saying and find out how you can apply that to your life. That's how you honor a man, honor a woman. Only what you do for Christ will last, right? So I want you to really get that. So we grieve for the loss of Kevin Samuels. We grieve for the David Curl. Now we're grieving for Alan Roger Curry. But it doesn't mean nothing if you don't do what they've been talking about. It doesn't mean a thing if you don't do nothing on what they're talking about. We got more people who are information whores. Information whores. All you want to do is see how much more information you're going to do, but you do nothing with them. You're information whore. You hoard up more information, and you get information paralysis. That means you don't want to do nothing for what you have learned. If you want to honor these men that have been in this space for a long time, what you got to do is put some action into your legs. I talked about that last week. You got to do something from what they're doing. To honor somebody, to honor them, yes, is to pay homage to them and say, yeah, you know what, you did this and this. But what they said, you need to put some action to what they said. Apply it to your life. Better concern ourselves with what God said and God is over these men. Right. I'm telling you. I'm watched too many times. I've been in this space a long time. Maybe before YouTube, 2007. I got it documented. 2007. Check the record. If you don't believe me, check with Steve the Dean. You think I'm just talking out the side of my neck? Check with Steve the Dean. He'll tell you. We had conversations when I lived in Atlanta about pulling together and talking to the men. This was before any manosphere. So while you might think, oh, he don't get the numbers, he ain't doing this and that, baby, I've been doing this. I've been putting in the work you don't even see. Okay, I didn't blow up. So what? I don't care. At the end of the day, what are you going to do with the information that you've been allotted to? The word says, too much is given, much is expected. So many people hear these messages and they have tickling ears. They have people who just want to hear something that's going to make them feel good, but it does nothing to the bottom line. We have people who just tickling ears, something that's entertaining, something that's going to make them feel good, they do nothing with the information that's been given. If you want to honor these men and with the work they put in on this social media, they made their own platform. They became their own brand. They became authors. One became, particularly ARC, became an author. What did he do? He became an authority in what he said. You may not agree with it. You may not like it. You may not see what he's saying. But one thing you cannot say is that he was not speaking his truth. And for all the detractors, and I'm going to say this, where is your book? Where is your manual? Where is your video? Where is the time that you've been on national TV? Where is your name on Wikipedia? You want to, because everyone can say something about Alan Roger Curry. Oh, I didn't like him. He did this and this and blah, 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 blah. But where's your work? Where's your name in Wikipedia? Where is your books? Where's your time? What are you doing? You can't, many people can't, more than many people who are going to be having all these videos about Alan Roger Curry, and they have things about Kevin Samuels and things like that, have not put in any work. They have nothing to show for it in their lives. They have no catalog. They have no kind of things that they're doing. That people outside of YouTube, outside of online, that the lives that they have really touched. So I'm saying this just being completely raw and being just completely where it is. Those people don't even shouldn't even open their mouths. There shouldn't be nothing you need to say because you have nothing to show for it. It's like going to school and you mad because the person next to you got an A, but you didn't do the work to get your own A. We're in the dawn of a new year. And then part of this dawn of a new year, if you didn't catch it, if you're not catching what's going on, your time is not promised. Only thing that's promised is today. And you need to do something. The dawn of a new year, 2023, you need to be having this one word ringing in your mind. I must have results. You got to have results. What are you going to be doing? What are you going to be showing? Whose lives are you going to be impacting? On the dawn of a new day or a new year, 2023 is here. Who are you going to be touching? What impact are you going to have in the world around you? What really impact are you really going to have in the world around you? Thank you so much. That's fact. Shut your mouth. You have no right to speak. And that's what I'm saying. Most of these people, you're gonna watch. They're gonna come out the woodwork like they did with Kevin. And Kevin did this, and Kevin that, and Kevin, they ain't did nothing. Keyboard gangsters. You avatars look like some kind of crazy horse. Keyboard gangsters. Show me your work. Show me your results. Show me what you have done. Show me where you are doing something to affect the world around you. Most of these people cannot do it. You know why? They get off. Shut out, rest in peace to RC. Yes. They get off from just watching other people do what they need to do. It doesn't make sense to go to it doesn't make sense to say you're going to lift weights and you go to the weight room to watch other people lift weights. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to go to the weight room and you sitting there watching other people lift weights. And then you complaining about how they ain't lifting weights right. Please make that make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Well, all these people on YouTube, because they're going to come out the woodwork like they did with Kevin, like they're going to do with ARC. Get ARC this and ARC this, and blah, 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 blah. They're going to come out the woodwork. It don't make no sense. You come into the gym to watch other people lift weights and you ain't picked up one weight yourself. Sit your hind down. 2023, I'm telling you, it's about results. It's about what you make happen, whose lives that you're going to impact. Most of these guys are crying and whining and things like that. You cannot apply what ARC was talking about if you do not go into the real world and deal with real women. I know I'm doing a tangent, but I got to say this. All the detractors and everybody saying, well, he didn't know what he talking about, Kevin and ARC and all these brothers, all these whining crybaby little boys with their little binkies in their mouth. It doesn't make you, if you can hear all the information that you want to hear, until you get in the face of a real woman and see if this works, shut your mouth. Don't disrespect my name. Don't disrespect ARC name. Don't disrespect Kevin's name or any other content creator on here if you don't put in the work and you don't go out there and deal with real women. If you don't want to deal with them here, don't talk about the passport brothers. If you ain't never got a passport, bro, you ain't never got a passport and deal with women outside the country. Shut your mouth. Someone needs to call in and call it out what it is. Salute, salute. Listen and salute to you. Appreciate you. Salute, Adrian. Appreciate you getting class. I'm listening to class. So don't appreciate you, Jonathan W. Don't be all this. Watch the videos come out. Watch what the videos come out. Watch somebody all of a sudden want to come out there. Well, you know, ARC did this to me, and Kevin did this to me, and all this stuff. Put in the work. 2023 is awaiting for you to put in the work, get some results. If you want to honor ARC, Alan Roger Curry, put in the work. Don't just talk about it, be about it. If you didn't like what he did, what he said, or what he did, or you like what he did and what he said, get your own book. Write your own book. Start your own channel. Have your own group. Put in the work. This will stop all the belly aching. This will stop all the complaining, because you're gonna see the complainers come out. I'm gonna have to get a binky for all these little binkies that are gonna come out. Stop all of it. Put in the work. I'm telling you, that's what ARC was about. Putting in the work. He's been putting in the work since I've been knowing of him. 2007. 2007. I don't know. Some of y'all might have been in high school. I don't know what caused his death, and I am not privy. I am not at that. How can I say it? It is not my place to say what it was or what took place. But what we need to do is make sure that his wife and his young son, that we send prayers up to them. And I want you to really think about this. This man had did all these things. He put in the work. He decided to settle down, found him a nice he got a young wife, and he has a child. He has a young son. He got time to spend with his son. But I want you to look at something. Kevin Samuels was on the same trajectory. He had found someone, and he was vetting her for what? Because he realized he had to leave a legacy. Now, he got his daughter to leave a legacy, as far as with Kevin, but he wanted to leave a legacy in the earth. So all these people are talking about, man, forget these women, these child support, and I ain't getting married and all that. I understand that. I understand the system. I've been married before. I had child support. It was good to see you, Wade. I had child support. I was on child support before. But one thing I would not trade in, with all the things that I went through, good, bad, or indifferent, is my two sons. I have a legacy in this earth. My name will carry on. I'm not telling you to go be irresponsible and just knock up some woman now. I am not saying that. Pure Soul, Wade, good to see you guys. I am not saying that. But you look at the parallel between these two Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated brothers. They waited till their later years they found someone. Kevin was vetting the young lady, and from the understanding, he was vetting her and potentially to what? Allegedly to start a family and leave a legacy. ARC did that already. He had vetted the young lady, and what did he do? They did what they needed to do, and now they have a young child. That young child would now have something. He can look at his father's videos. He can read his father's books. He can say, that's my dad. I sound like him. I walk like him. This is why I'm doing this. Most of you guys got to realize, what legacy are you leaving? It may not be a physical child, But what are you leaving in the earth that people will know that you were here? You better stop listening to these content creators that got you all tied up. Stop chasing after women that don't mean nothing for you. You got to leave a legacy. They got to know 100 years from now that you were here. They don't, not 100 years later that they still paying off the debt because you got a credit card debt. You didn't pay your car off. They need to know that you were here. They need to read something. They need to know that you did something. I'm not saying that you got to go jump out the Empire State Building to say that you're leaving a legacy, but you got to do something. If anything, you can learn from these two individuals. In particular, ARC, leave a legacy. He has a legacy of books. He has a legacy of content. He has a legacy of people that he had interacting with and got results from the things that he taught. What is your legacy that you're going to leave, brothers? Who will know that you were here? Or will you just be a name in a chat room? Or will you just be a name that's on Instagram? What legacy are you going to leave? What little child going to know that you were here? What person is going to know? What legacy that you're going to leave? What words of wisdom that you're going to drop today or tomorrow, whatever that you're going to, that you're going to leave. And the reason why I'm saying this, because there's a dichotomy in this. You have to be selfish, but you got to be unselfish at the same time. Selfishly to complete what you need to do, but unselfishly to give what you have done. There's a dichotomy there. There's two things pulling you at the same time. You got to be all about you. Don't ever pull yourself off of the pedestal. But you got to be wise enough to pour into other people. You have to leave a legacy. We have too many men, and particularly men in this space, who are cackling like hens. And I didn't say like anything else. They're cackling like hens, looking for the next trend that they can ride. And they're not leaving a legacy of why they were here. Many of them, the reason why, because they don't know their purpose or why they're here. But I'm telling you, we're in the dawn of a new year. 2023 is awaiting you. You must have some results. You must have some results. You must know emphatically. People around you must know that you were here, not know that you was a thief, not know that you was a whore, not know that you were just on here just to be doing. You must be here for a purpose. They must know that you were here. What will be your legacy? 2023 is saying results, legacy. It ain't all about me. It's about what I can give. If you want, and I'm going to say this again, if you want to honor, and I'm going to put this picture back up here, and I'm not trying to get like Ron Will said, it's not trying to get more likes and things like that, but I'm going to put his picture up right here because you got to honor the person. This ain't all about that. This is about we as a collective know how to honor someone else when they're alive and when they're not here. How do we honor that person? We got to learn one thing we're missing in this community, in this space, globally, is how to honor the people around here who have made a difference. I don't care if you like them or not. That ain't the point. Are you man enough? Are you woman enough to honor someone else? 2023 is awaiting you and I, not just me, but you and I, on how we're going to honor someone else. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. You didn't even got to say that, Elder. We are the thinking class know what you stand for. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Honor. When the bishop came through, I honor. When John will come through, anybody come through, I'm going to honor you. This man has made his transition on Wednesday. Wednesday, he made his transition. How will your life be honored? What would they say about you? All this infighting and going back and forth on YouTube and who like who, you said that, I don't like this, you said this, I remember when you did this, all that little catty baby elementary stuff does not mean nothing. And I would call names, but it's not that, then I'm getting involved in it. But all that back and forth and stuff, it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day when the lights go out. It doesn't mean anything at the end of the day when your lights are out. You got to realize that this world is waiting for you, is awaiting. There are people waiting for you to step up and go to bat and hit a home run and make a difference. I promise you. This year has been an incredible year. The shocking of Kevin Samuels, now ARC. This should shake some men the dust off their feet. This should cause you like, wait. If I ain't living, I need to live now. Because I said tomorrow is not promised, but today is promised. Extra emotional emasculated beings out here acting 100 out of their character. Yep, I'm not going to call their names. I know them too. Some of the content creators. But I'm here to tell you what's going on, Kenosha. This year was truly a test, LDA. Every year, but this year was truly an eye opener. Yeah, I got you, brother. No problem. You know, it's nothing but love. Yeah. And I want you to really, really think about that. And I can't be on that long, but I really want you to think. These men, though we may not know them personally, we only see the content that they're given. They're showing what? The humanity. Humanity. It's I can say this, and I think everyone else can probably concur. It makes me look at everything that I'm doing in my life and say, does this really make sense? Does this really add up, or do I really need to be doing this? If not, I need to let it go. It puts everything in perspective. It really, I never said this before, but it really stunned me with Kevin. That really was like somebody, it's like you in a fight and somebody just went sucker punch you. That was a sucker punch to me. Me and Jono talked about it outside of YouTube. We talked about it because we looked to Kevin to learn not just the content he was doing, but we looked at what he was doing as far as what moves he was making. Now to hear about Allen Roger and Curry is like somebody just another punch. I know the ship must go on, everything must go on, but it was another harsh reality of man, I got to really think about what I'm doing. I got to be precise. I got to be on it. I got to be top notch. And let me say this for all those who I know there's going to be some talk about this ain't alpha, this ain't Mac, this beta. Every man, whether we want to admit it, yeah, the pioneers are slowly falling off, and I'm still here, baby. I'm here. I got 100 years left in me. Let me say this. Whether men want to admit it, he was only 59, yeah. Whether men want to admit it, you're going to have to learn how to process and grieve correctly. In this space, because we have men that have gone such the other way, we don't know how to grieve correctly or how to process a loss in our lives. I'm saying something, especially in this space with this YouTube and everything like that, Instagram, Facebook, and all that. We have to learn how to process as men something that has lost, or someone has lost in our life, or someone that was impactful in our life. Many times we go into a place of denial because we don't want to appear like we're not masculine, and what we really are processing in this loss that's of a person or a situation or a theme that's no longer there. No one's talking about that because we so got to present, I'm the man, I'm this and that. You have to learn how to process correctly or the right way when losses or things take place in your life. This is not for you to spill on YouTube, on Instagram, and everybody and cry and all like that. I understand you might become overwhelmed, but we as men need to know how to process when those around us who are no longer here, how to effectively deal with our emotions the right way, because you have them. You are not a robot. You got to know how to process, to deal with those things that you have no answers for. You have to learn how to do that effectively as a man. And what we have done on these YouTube streets, we have tried to desensitize men instead of bringing them into their fullness of their masculinity. I didn't say bring it sensitive, but bring them into the place where they understand, hey, that hurts. I do not like that. I feel the loss. I feel the pain. I understand being stoic. Trust me. But every man, whether we want to admit it or not on this space, has to deal with the loss of someone that it was dear to us. I had to deal with it with my own father, who was like my best friend. Someone I can talk and call, and we talk for hours. I mean hours. But dealing and processing your feelings and your emotions correctly. See how I'm using those words? And most men, that ain't alpha, that ain't beta, you being beta. No man need to do that. You just suck it up. And that's why many of the men have health issues, because they have never, and I'm going to say this, they have not learned how to effectively process the feelings. And so they internalize them, and those internalized feelings not dealt with go inside and cause havoc inside of them, and we call stress and other things that happen. And now they have different diseases and things that dis-ease meant inside of them, and they wonder why they're in there. They 20 years old, but they look like they're 50 years old, because they have not learned how to effectively, not like a woman, process their feelings, process what they're dealing with. And it's not always put your hands up and you need to put your fists up. You about to box somebody else. We gotta create and that's why I'm creating this space. Not just on here, but outside of YouTube. I have a space that's being created where men can have those conversations without feeling ashamed, without somebody judging them, where they're not condemned. Shame, guilt, and the need to be right. There's a space that I've created where men and women can come with, but I want the men and women separate to be able to process what they're dealing with, what's going on with them. Why? Most people have not been taught how to do that. All we've been taught how to do is like, all right, cool. You know it hurts you. You know it bothers you. Like I said, it bothered me with Kevin. Now with ARC, with Alan Roger Curry, it's like, geez, Louise. No. I know we expect everybody to live forever, but this is just a lot. And like I said, you may not like either one of those individuals. You may not agree with them. I don't give a rat's butt. You may not even like me or agree with me. I'm not looking for you to like me or agree with me. I'm at the point I do not care. I really can't do nothing about it. If you don't like me, you want to do whatever the case may be. I really don't give a rat's tail. But one thing you're going to realize, 2023, we're dawn of a new year. You're going to have to put in some work. For all the detractors of Kevin, now ARC, David Curl, I have one thing for you. I have one challenge for you. I don't care how many fake addresses, YouTube channels you create, and YouTube avatars you create. Show me your work. Show me what you have done. Show me your paperwork. There should be a paper trail of the work you've done. You may not agree with these brothers, but show me your work. To all the detractors, all the video creators, well, he did this, he did that, he said this. You're always going to find a dig up dirt about you. But if all you create your channels and your avatars and things you do is to dig up dirt on other people, show me your work. Who have you touched? Whose lives have been affected by what you said? Show me your work. Show me your work. We have such low vibrational people on these YouTube streets who's always looking for loopholes, shortcuts, and dirt on other people, but they cannot seem to look in the mirror and wash the sleep and the slob out of their own mouth. You're distasteful. You're disdain, low vibrational people. You need to be spewed out the mouth because you're a disgrace to the human race. If all you do is look for ways to put people down. Ain't none of us, me included, ain't perfect. None of us is perfect. I make mistakes. I've done things wrong. I didn't do things right. I was married before, married twice. I didn't do things right. If you want to dig up dirt on what I did and did not do, go ahead at it. Because that's what that's the thing now. Well, he did this. It's all about discrediting the individual. But let's look at what you've done. Nothing. I am up to here. Because I watch. I sit in the clouds and I watch. The constant discrediting of someone else, and they're not valid in what they're saying. They shouldn't be saying that. If you do this and this, everyone has a critic. Everyone has an opinion. But what are you doing outside of YouTube, outside of Instagram, outside of Facebook? Who are you really touching? Who calls you in the middle of the night? Who gets a message from way on the other side of the country that I got? Pray for me, LDA. What work are you putting in? I understand we got people that need to be called out because they're fraudulent. I understand that. We got people on here that are just fraudulent, who are just up here posing and they ain't living this real life. But you should be at the place in this thinking class where you can see who's authentic and who's not, who's just blowing smoke up your you know what. You should be able to tell by now. But we have such a call out spirit, council culture spirit That's everyone want to call out and call everything out, but no one wants to say, you know what, I see that over there. Let me do what I need to do. Let me put in my work. If this is resonating with you, let me know in the chat room. I didn't mean to go this route, but I need to go this route in this short period of time because I got to get ready to go. If this is resonating, put a number 2 in the chat room. If you understanding what I got people watching, put a 2 if you understanding exactly what I'm saying. That's why this is the reason why I'm building the community behind the scenes. This is the reason why, yes, it's a paywall. This is the reason why. This is the reason. This is the reason why. Appreciate it. I see. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, see that real. The real for me is no need to post when you have a tribe. You have a tribe. You have your, right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate the 2s in the chat room. I promise you. At the end, when your number is called, because the Bible says no man knows the day or the hour. When your number is called, what would they say about you? What would they say about you? This is the reason I'm telling you. Y'all might say, well, LDH, like things are slowing down, this and this and that. I promise you that's the reason why yesterday, my focus was building on that behind the scene community. Yes, and it's about creating value and transformation. That's what I'm talking about. Value and transformation. And the amount of value and transformation that you're going to get outside of YouTube in this community where you can find your tribe so that you can thrive. It's going to be amazing. Now I'm going to it's going to be a two week free trial. Then after that, you got to pay. But I want you to really think about this. In the dawn of a new year, 2023 is here. 2023 is awaiting you. I gave some clues and I got to go, man. I got to go. And 2023, I got to put this out here. I got to put this in your spirit. I got to put this out here. And I can't give it all. I got to share it behind the scenes. 2023 is calling for you to have a different concept of who you are. What do I mean? What do LDA mean by this? You must see yourself in a different light in order for you to enjoy all that is awaiting for you in 2023. You must change the concept of who you are in 2023 in order for you to enjoy 2023. Let me say it another way so everybody can get it. The reason why, and I can't go really deep into it, the reason why the game is not working for a lot of people, your business and your marriage and whatever else is not working for a lot of people because their concept or how they view themselves, their self-image has not changed. You can hear all the game, all the business trips. You can go on, you can listen to Tony Evans, Tony Robinson. You can listen to, I don't know, Al Sharpton. You can listen to whoever you can until you change the concept of who you are to you. No amount of game will work. It will only be a temporary fix and not a permanent one. I've been processing that. I got to talk about that behind the scenes. Until you change how you see yourself, no amount of game, no amount of 5 steps and this and that will ever be transformation. Until you change, I can give you game from the Himalayas. I can tell you how to pull a woman out the sky almost. But it doesn't mean anything if your concept of yourself is of a simp. I can tell you I can show you, well, this is how you're going to make your money. You can make money in this area until you realize that you are no longer poor and your concept of yourself is that you are rich. It means nothing. It's like speaking a foreign language to you because you have not changed the concept of who you are. I can hear someone saying, well, give an example. When I was in junior high school, my father seemed that I was nervous about going to high school because of the amount of workload and the greater amount of kids that were going to be there. And so what he did was he said, what I want you to do, son, every day when you brush your teeth and when you go to bed and when you brush your teeth, say to yourself that you will make straight A's, that you would make honor roll, that you would make merit roll. I said, man, this don't make no sense. You know, I'm in the 12th grade. I'm in the 7th, 8th grade. I'm like, my dad told me to do it. So every day I'm like, I'm going to make straight A's. I'm going to make this and that. I'm going to do well. By midsummer, I have pretty much stopped what he was doing. Here comes 9th grade knocking on the door. I get to 9th grade and I end up, didn't do well at first. Boom, jumped up and got merit roll. Why? Because the concept, I had to change the concept of myself in order for the game that I was going to execute to work. Want another example? I'm going to go further in this maybe next week or behind the scenes. There was a young man. Pay attention to this. Pay attention. There was a young man who was doing terrible in school. He was doing bad in school. He barely. So he took the SAT. Did the SAT in order to go to college, and he'd be like, well, whatever. He took the SAT, and what happened is the results came back. Pay attention to what I'm saying to you. Changing your concept of yourself. The dawn of a new year. He had to change the concept. So he got the scores back, and he was like, what? His mother showed him the results that he did amazing on the SAT. I mean, he was even astounded and said, yeah, I guess I did do good. Yeah, I did do good on the SAT. All right. He did good on that. He found he did good on the SAT. Ended up going to college, completing college, graduating. And then what happened is he ended up starting and having a successful business. Well, in the second year of starting his successful business, it was found out that the SAT company that does the grading sent him the wrong results. Pay attention to what I'm saying. The SAT sent him the wrong results. Actually, he bombed at the SAT. Just as he bombed at the SAT. He did bad at the SAT. But it was his second year in successful business. He graduated from college and did all these things. What changed? When he found out he bombed at the SAT, he said, well, I guess I'm here now. I might as well continue what I'm doing. The only thing that changed was his concept of who he was that affected his action on what he needed to complete. I hope y'all caught what I just said, because I'm going to end. You know I got to go. If you understood what I said, put a number 1 in the chat room. The boy actually failed at the SAT, but he got the wrong results. It said he did good. But guess what? His concept of himself changed, and he began to produce at the level of his content. What? Thank you, Yahoo. Thank you. He began to produce at the level of how he's seen himself. For as a man think in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Please understand this. 2023 is saying change the concept of who you are so that you can produce the results of who you are. As Yahoo has put, for as a man think in his heart, so is he. Change the concept of who you are. If you look at yourself as a no good worm, everyone else going to treat you as a no good worm. If you look at yourself as just a simp, everybody else going to treat you as a simp. Change the concept. 2023 is saying, relook at who yourself. Look and see that you did pass the SAT with flying colors. Change the concept of who you are. Change what you think about who you are. 2023 said, you know what? You thought that way in 2022, but guess what, bro? I need you to think different about yourself in 2023. The man's concept of himself changed, and he began to perform at a higher level when he seen himself different. If you ain't get nothing out of what I've said today, 2023 is saying change the concept of how you see yourself. Or say it another way for my Bible thumpers. It says, well, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the perfect and acceptable will of the Lord. What is that saying? Conform, transform, be not conformed to this way of thinking, but be transformed in your mind about who you are, so that you can see that 2023 is awaiting you. Until this boy got those news that he passed the SAT, he probably would have been working at the local corner store, convenience store. But when he changed the concept of who he is, who he was, everything around him began to change. You know what that means? Get ready for 2023. It is awaiting you. Once again, shout out, appreciate that for your soul. Shout out to Ali Roger Curry. May you rest in peace, brother. May people know Mode 1. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. May he rest in paradise. May his works live on. May we never forget what we contribute to this space, but not only to this space, but to this world. Shout out to ARC. Shout out to him. LDA, those on the behind the scenes, I'll be sending you a link very soon. The space behind the scenes for the Deacon class community. Bye, hi. Peace. Thank you. Good to see you, Wade. Good to see everybody. Nothing but love. We out of here. Moment of silence for ARC once this music drops. Moment of silence for ARC. Salute everyone. May you have a good weekend. May you have a good weekend. Those in the behind the scenes, I will be communicating with you real shortly. Moments of silence for ARC. May he rest in eternal peace. May his life legacy live on. Thank you for all that you have done, all the people that you have touched. We appreciate you, brother. We out here.